What's going on, everybody? It's Mdog5 and welcome back to another video. Now today we are going to be reviewing Season 3, or the fresh season of Splatoon 3. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The catalog is definitely an improvement from both the Drizzle and the Chill seasons catalog. The emotes were a little bit more enthusiastic. One even changed for the or depending on the weapons that you were using, kind of like the default emote. The outfits were actually of a full set that matched each other, so that's also another thing that I wanted to see. If you remember my season 2 review, that was something that I wish there was more of in the game, and it looks like we're heading into that direction. I don't think that the season 4 catalog has leaked, although I haven't checked yet, but I would be very glad to see if more sets like that are returning, because I feel like that just makes sense. You know what I mean? But anyways, moving on to the weapons, there were two specials that were added, which were the Kraken Royale and the Super Chump. Let's start off with the Super Chump because I kind of feel indifferent towards it. I like its inclusion on the receiving end. It's not too bad. When I was using it, it was at sometimes very effective, and sometimes it was just like, you know what I mean? But I don't mind its inclusion. I feel like it's a balanced special all around. And then, of course, you have the Kraken Royale returning from Splatoon 1, which I'm glad to see. However, in Splatoon 1, we were just having fun, you know what I'm saying? Now in Splatoon 3, we appreciate some balance, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, they did nerf the Kraken a couple of weeks after the release of the season. And, I mean, it's still okay. I've noticed when I was using it that it requires a much higher skill ceiling all of a sudden than the previous weeks or the first couple of weeks that it went unnerfed. I feel like, you know, as a whole, the Kraken has to have. I feel like the more you shoot at it, the lower its runtime would be. I feel like that would be balanced because you really, I mean, I guess you can knock it back a little bit, but when it's on tower, it'll just like sit there and tower whore, and it's literally free points for the enemy team or the team that is on tower. You know what I mean? But then other times it feels really weird. It's like you can't really climb places. I'm gonna have to use it more because there's definitely now a skill ceiling that comes with it, but it can still be pretty broken at times. So a little bit of fine tuning would be appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And so now getting into the actual weapons, like the actual things that you use to shoot and play the game, not the specials. My bad. I know I said weapons earlier. But ZNF, which is Zeko and Firefin, is a collaboration between two already existing brands. And they came together and made a new brand. So this new brand dropped not only some gear, but two splatter scopes, which is just the ZNF charger, which is one charger is scoped and one isn't scoped. And they both have walled and triple ink strike, which is pretty good. I'm glad that now you have the chargers that can play aggressively. It's sort of like the Wasabi splatter shot and the Firefin splatter shot from the, or not splatter shot, splatter scope, excuse me, from the previous two games. So pretty cool. I'm glad that that is in the game for the Chargers who want to use it. Myself, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not ready to start using the Charger, but maybe we'll get there at some point. Anyways, the 96 gal deco was added, and I just wish that the 96 were more consistent. You know, in Splatoon 1, I used it in Splatoon 1, but it's been too long. I can't remember the actual balancing and whatnot. But in Splatoon 2, like, you would whiff shots, right? But it was still a pretty strong weapon. Like, I would still drop 20 bombs with the 96. This, I'll be lucky if I drop 5 kills in a game with the 96 gal. Like, it's incredibly arbitrary in terms of its RNG. It's just crazy. And also on the receiving end, it's like, the same thing with the Gluga dualies. It's like so inconsistent that I don't even know how to play against it because it'll act completely different mid-game. Like, sometimes it'll melt you, and other times it's like you could stand still and this shit won't even shoot you. So it's just annoying, and I feel like it's a waste of potential that, you know, you have such a good kit, which is Wall and Kraken Royale, but it's on a 96 gal. I just feel like the 96 gal needs to be fine-tuned because there's so many other strong weapons in this game. It's like, why not fine-tune the 96 gal a little bit more? I've come across maybe 2 good 96 gals or 2 competent 96 gals this entire season. Moving on, we have the Clash Blaster Neo with Curling Bomb and Super Chump. The kit is fine, I feel like, but Clash Blaster, I mean, on the receiving end, it's extremely annoying. It feels as though it requires no skill of the person using it to actually kill you, which it doesn't. I mean, you literally get kills by not actually touching the opponent. But when you actually do use the Clash Blaster, it's kind of like ass. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, well, shit, maybe you do need this area of effect, this wide margin of error with your accuracy. Maybe you do actually need it. So I feel indifferent towards the Clash Blaster Neo getting a new kit. Then you have the Neo Splash with Suction Bomb, Triple Ink Strike, and everybody, I mean everybody, thought that this was going to be the most broken weapon in the game. Turns out, it's really not all that. Like, the vanilla Splash is much better than this, unless you're playing Tower Control. Even at that, because you can crab tank the freaking objective, or as I like to call it, you could Bakugan the objective, because that's what the crab tank is. It's a Bakugan. You have the Custom Jet Squelcher, which is Toxic Mist and Ink Storm. I feel like this is necessary because whenever I pull up on a Jet Squelcher, it's like I have to check myself now because they have Toxic Mist and they can like stop me in my tracks, you know? So I like its inclusion. I respect it. Then you have the Rapid Blaster Deco, which I used towards the beginning of this season, but I just prefer to use the Range Blaster. Then we have the Neo Sploosh, the L3 Nozzle Nose D, and the Tri-Slosher Nuevo. So those are the new weapons that were added that I just feel indifferent towards. I feel like overall there are pretty good weapon inclusions for this season, especially for having no new weapon types. This was a pretty good selection of new weapons. Of course, you have the NZAP 89 and whatnot. Maybe like a little less shooters getting, you know, new kits and maybe other weapon types, but we're going to see more of that in this upcoming season, so I can't really complain. And now we're going to go over the new maps. So just like last season, there's a returning map and there's also a brand new map. The brand new map is Umami Ruins, which I believe is objectively the best map in the game because of its layout. Like, you can get into the enemy spawn pretty easily. You can get around your own spawn easily. So, like, you can be pressured, but it's not like you have to stay in the spawn and just be subjected to the pressure that the enemy is dealing or just hashing out towards you, you know? Like, Splatoon 2 had a huge problem where defense was extremely hard to ascertain, especially in game modes like Rainmaker and stuff like that. But this map just, you know, I feel like you're able to get into the enemy spawn. You're able to get around places pretty easily. So Umami Ruins is probably the best map in the game objectively. It's not the most fun to play on, but it's definitely the best map objectively. But I also feel like if more maps start to follow this layout of map design, then it can easily be trumped by a new map that's added in the game that follows the same design. Also, sometimes it's kind of uncomfortable to push out towards the middle, but other than that, I like this map. It's pretty good. And of course, Manta Maria, which was a pretty strong map from Splatoon 2, makes a return in Splatoon 3, and I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Maybe it's better than what it was in Splatoon 2, but I feel like it's a really good inclusion. It's a really good addition to Splatoon 3. I feel like it fits in pretty well. Splatoon 2, Manta Maria was really good in Splatoon 2, though, so that's why I'm debating whether or not it's better in Splatoon 2 or 3, but it's a welcome addition to the game, okay? It could stay for as long as it wants, okay? As long as Murray Towers never sees the light of day again, I'm good. Also, Skip River Valley, and you better not bring that fucking map back in. Oh, wait, what's another map that we better not fucking see in this game? What's that map that had the New Albacore Hotel? Yeah, that shit should never see the day. Oh yeah, Schellendorf Institute. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, I'm ranting. So we'll get into some Salmon Run changes, even though I don't play Salmon Run outside of getting the new gear, the monthly gear. But basically, they put in a thing where you can get Splatoon 2 Salmon Run gear if you play enough Salmon Run in this game, which is cool. I'm glad that that option is available, but it's just the requirements for getting a single piece of Splatoon 2 Salmon Run gear is insane. Like, if I wanted it that badly, I would just go back on Splatoon 2 because the requirements for getting that is just like the amount of salmon run that you have to play to get one piece of gear is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Nintendo, with this game especially, like some of the achievements, it's like you have to be playing for an absurdly long amount of time. I don't know what the obsession is with Nintendo putting in achievements that just take too long, or like the new leveling system, level 999 takes absurdly long to get. Like it's gonna take the whole lifespan of the game for somebody to get that. But I mean, I just don't know what it is. But Nintendo, you have to make like harder challenges, not time-consuming challenges. Time-consuming challenges aren't more difficult and they're not more engaging. I just hope you know that. Big Run Ouroboros in Inkblot Art Academy was pretty fun. I will admit, I didn't play the first one that was in Wahoo World, but this one I had some fun with. Ouroboros, that was a pretty good time. Extra work, I didn't participate or care to participate in that event, but I guess it's cool for Salmon Run heads. And then, of course, you have the Splatfest, which were Bigfoot versus Loch Ness versus Aliens. I felt indifferent towards that one. I feel like they fine-tuned the Splatfest, that one in particular, because the last one that we had in the end of whatever it was, season 2, chill season, that was completely broken. Like the amount of time, well, it wasn't completely broken, but my one gripe was how fast the enemy could pick up the ultra signal towards the end of the game. It's like I couldn't even kill somebody within the amount of time that it took for them to just take it and claim a free, basically a Mickey Mouse ass ultra signal. It was ridiculous. And then also leading up to the release of Tears of the Kingdom, we had Courage versus Power versus Wisdom. That was really fun, and I'm glad that, you know, Tears of the Kingdom got its respect in another game, in another Nintendo game, you know what I'm saying? The nice little tribute, you know? But I feel like that Triforce map in the middle of Scorch Gorge, I feel like the way the map was curved, you know, it was like a triangle. So like my shots were, like the trajectory of my shots were fucked up. But anyways, that was also when Wave Chicken was over my house and I let him play Splatoon 3 for the first time. And obviously he was ass. Like he was still trying to deal with the motion controls, right? And so he was like getting shit on like 0 to 8, 1 to 7, like on games. I don't even think he got, I think that was his only kill that he got. He played like 4 games, sorry. And then I took over, right? And then tell me why I dropped 22 kills with the Luna Blaster. I'm like, bro, if this isn't the most performance-based matchmaking shit ever, that just confirmed the existence of performance-based matchmaking. And so I feel like it's a little bit drastic because it also bleeds into our ranked, our normal X rank and our normal S plus Anarchy series. It definitely bleeds into that performance-based matchmaking. I feel like it's necessary in Splatoon, but not to the extent in which it is. And then it doesn't hold the same standards of performance-based matchmaking because you have top 500 players who can join freaking like Anarchy games. Like tell me why I fought a top 10 player in Anarchy when I was S+1. You guys saw the video. I was S+1 and I got a top 10 player. Like not top 500, top 10 with the gold stamp, the sticker on the calling card or whatever it's called, the banner they're called in this game. They're basically calling cards. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And that's gonna segue us into our next section, which is game experience for this season. So I'll start off with Ninja Squid, which I promise, I swear, I just came up with the name that I'm going to title the video. Okay, I swear I'm going to drop it, but Ninja Squid is insanely insufferable as usual, and I know that I keep saying that I'm going to drop the video. I'm going to drop it during this next season, okay? That's what I will do. I promise you that. Matchmaking is particularly strange, if you couldn't tell from my little mini spiel from a few seconds ago. Matchmaking is really weird. So as I already mentioned, I fought a top 10 player, like not top 500, again, a top 10 player when I was in S+1 at the very beginning of the season. I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening? And then I would give it like, okay, it's the beginning of the season. Maybe he just wanted to play Anarchy instead of X Battle. Maybe the rotation was okay. Like maybe the rotation for X was ass and Anarchy was better. So we just so happened to hop in and then we just so happened to cross paths, okay? But this was something that would happen at least every 2 weeks, bro. Every 2 weeks in Anarchy, because I predominantly play Anarchy. And if I didn't come across a top 10 player, which I came across 4 top 10 players, 4 out of the top 10 players from last season, I came across in Anarchy, okay? And I peaked at S plus 15 this season. Maybe 16. Maybe I'll play a little bit later and get 16. But I peaked at the time of me speaking, I'm S plus 15. Okay, out of 50. Maybe if I was S plus 50 or S plus 45, this would be completely warranted. But I came across 4 top 10 players. And if I didn't come across 4 top 10 players, then I'm sitting here fighting multiple top 500 players on the enemy team. And I'm like, bro, what in the fuck is happening? And then I know that, like, I'm good. So, like, for me, I'm at the skill level to where, like, I peaked at top 900, okay, in this season. That was my peak. And maybe, like, if you put a single top 500 player against me on the enemy team, like, the chances of me winning, like, I have a 40% chance. Like, I'll say 40-60, right? I've beaten several top 500 players on the enemy team, but I'll give it to them. They are players that are better than me regardless. Like, if you're able to get top 500 in this game, you're either extremely lucky or you're just downright better than I am, okay? Because I peaked at top 900, right? And so 60% of the time they're going to win the game. But if you have multiple top 500 players, it's not looking good. Also, I fought, like, I feel like it's cool because this is completely fine. I fought, like, multiple pro players in Anarchy. I feel like that's fine. But I fought them when I was like at S plus 8. And I'm like, there's no way that these people are S plus 8, S plus 9, S plus 7, which in my opinion are the only players that I should be fighting against in S plus 8. You know what I mean? Like, this Splatoon 3, there's enough people playing this game. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like they should definitely do a better job in just matchmaking in general. It's kind of ridiculous because, like, S plus 15 and below, for me, should be generally an easy time. I'm not going to lie, especially getting top 900. Like, that should be easy. And I feel like for the majority of the season, and maybe it had something to do with me not ranking up as fast as I wanted to. Well, maybe it's also because I had school for the majority of this season. But, you know, I only got S plus 15, which to me is, I mean, not anything crazy, you know what I mean? Like, it's not bad, but it's not anything crazy. You know, I would have liked to have a larger number next to my name on the screen. Like, that would have been cool. But it's like every single week I'm fighting, like, people I have no business fighting. I remember Keo was on my team. I almost beat Brock like a couple of days ago, but they fluked at the very end, which that game got me very, very upset because it's just how they fluked the victory at the last. They literally won the last 5 seconds of the game, which was insanely mad. Like, anyways, I fought Kiki, which I mean, like, she's not Kiver, you know what I'm saying? But that's still, like, she's better than most people that play this game, you know what I mean? Then, like, who else? Like, GM says good morning. I don't know the motherfucker's name. I just know that they're good at the game. Okay, that's what I do know. I don't. Keem says good morning. That's the name. Okay, like I just remember that person would get like 2,500 XP in Splatoon 2, and they're pretty good at this game. So yeah, I fought like a lot of pro players. I played with Jared in the beginning. I mean, those are cool because there's no telling what rank they are. But I feel like it's indicative of, like, the terrible matchmaking system. It's like, let's be real. Like, it's cool to fight pros and stuff. But in terms of Anarchy, I know that they're not as low as me in terms of, like maybe when I was fighting them, I was, like, S plus 10, S plus 11, S plus 7. Like, I know that they're not that low. You know what I mean? Also, the teammates... The teammates are ridiculous. But yeah, that's basically the full extent of my review for this season. Pretty good season overall. I like the new weapons. I like the specials, even though they could have been fine-tuned. Well, the Super Chump was fine, but yeah, I feel like there's a great amount of content that was introduced into the game. I want to see the same energy, you know what I mean? New map, new returning map that's in the game, you know what I mean? I love it. I also would wish to see... new kits that aren't shooters predominantly. Like, we got the snipers, the new snipers. That was very good. I want to see more sloshers. I definitely want to see more heavies, which we'll be getting in this new season. And this new map, I feel like it's going to follow the layout of Umami. I feel like it's going to be, you know, a better map than most. So, yeah. And then Humpback is coming back. So, I'm hyped. You know what I'm saying? Humpback Zones. Oh my gosh. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Wave Clan channel. Okay. All of that. Make sure you guys check out the Inceptionist clips. Make sure you go subscribe to my channel. The montage for season 3 is out now. So, make sure you show that some love and support. Love you guys, and I'll catch you all in a later video.